Hello everyone and welcome back to Triple Floods. Today we are going to be doing a breakdown of the shortlist for the oh so important and the event that everyone is looking forward to, the ISU Skating Awards. This is of course sarcastic. Fans are not super excited about the Skating Awards. Most people didn't think they were necessary, were super disappointed that they'd be having this ridiculous awards ceremony instead of a gala at the World's 2020 event. However, as we all know, that did not end up happening, so these will be held online, and recently a shortlist from the original longer list of candidates for these awards has been released. I'm looking at this from @aim_high__ on Twitter, which is one of the first accounts to release this short list of the programs and most valuable skaters, costumes, etc., etc. So we're going to go through every single section and discuss this a little bit, along with a little bit of the drama that's been going on with Alina Zagitova and this released shortlist. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first category is Most Valuable Skater, and in the subtitle it says it's going to honor the skater that best managed to increase the level of popularity of figure skating with their fan base, media attention, and sponsor appreciation. There are technically four, I suppose, three contestants in this category. First, have Nathan Chen from the USA, Gabriele Papadakis and Cizeron from France, and also Yuzuru Hanyu from Japan. So most fans are in a pretty solid consensus about this, that the winner should most likely be Yuzuru Hanyu. I think if you consider all of the categories that are actually mentioned in the subtitle, especially media attention and sponsor appreciation, not even counting fan base, because everyone knows the fan use are everywhere and continue to proliferate. Gotta love them. So I think that this category is pretty solidly a lock for Yuzuru Hanyu. The interesting thing will be if Yuzuru actually does not get this award, and I think that if Yuzuru does not win Most Valuable Skater, that we should all sign off of our Twitter accounts for probably like a month to avoid the inundation of hate that's going to come. It will be crazy. So look forward to that. Most Valuable Skater, our first category, and already so much to talk about. Next up, we have Best Costume, Madison Chock and Evan Bates at their free dance costumes, Anna Shcherbakova with her free skate, her Firebird costume, and then Yuzuru Hanyu from his free skate costume from the Grand Prix, which I believe is Origin 2.0, and I will put those pictures up on the screen so we can all see. Anna's costume, this is her costume change, gimmick costume where it changes in the middle of Firebird, and while it's an interesting idea and it's a very well executed costume change considering the costume changes that we've seen in figure skating, some of the not so lovely ones. It's well executed as a costume changing costume, but as just a costume in general, it's really not my favorite, especially the top half of red. I just think that the fire bedazzling isn't executed super well. I love Origin 2.0. It is absolutely lovely. I think the butterfly motifs, there's that one gif that was popular so long ago when the butterfly cutouts spin on top of his back in the sit spins, and they look so good. I really enjoyed that costume a lot. It's really good. Madison Chock and Evan Bates' costume is, of course, their snake charmer one, which is an interesting concept. I think that Evan's side of things is super bland, but Maddie Chock is just an absolute stunner in whatever costume you put her in, but this costume in particular I find really lovely. I think that with Yuzuru, he usually has top tier costumes throughout. Well, most of the time. There have been some misses, definitely. But I think Maddie Chock and Evan Bates' costume, it really makes and solidifies their program. And I think their costume is one of their greatest strengths in their program. So maybe I could actually change my mind. I might actually go with Chock and Bates on this one, because I think the combination of the costume and the concept really elevated their free skates and made them just such strong contenders this season. Next up, we're going to look at the most entertaining program. Kevin Aymoz, his short program, Evgenia Medvedeva, for her free skate, and then Papadakis and Cizeron for their rhythm dance. So as you guys probably know, and as I've stated before unabashedly, I love Kevin Aymoz with a passion. He is one of my favorite skaters. I will just say it right out here, he should win this. He really should. Kevin Aymoz is just a treasure, and I am rooting for him 110% for this category. I'm kind of a little confused about Evgenia with her, that would be her Members of Geisha program. This is her free skate. Which is interesting because while it's a good program, I'd almost think that you would put her in the costume category and not necessarily most entertaining program. Because while the program is good and it's well executed, I don't know if there's anything overwhelmingly more entertaining about this program than any of the other programs on the field. Don't get me wrong, it's a good program, probably better than average, but it doesn't jump out to me as entertaining. If you told me to think of one thing that comes to mind, it would probably be her costume, honestly, and her step sequence is fire. But overwhelmingly entertaining to the point where she'd win an award for it, not exactly what I'm going for. For Papadakis and Cizeron, this is their fame program, which is okay. Yes, it's entertaining, but Kevin just wins. Can we all just agree? This is Kevin's. This is a hill that I will die on. Next category is Best Newcomer. We have Aliona Kostoronaia from Russia, Alexandra Trusova from Russia, and Young Yu from Korea. And this category actually had a little bit of controversy because Anna Shcherbakova was not included. Now, of course, there are only 3 of the contenders in the shortlist. So it is kind of hard to, I would imagine, have either 3 skaters from the same country, 3 skaters from the same coach, but I actually think that all 3 of these are warranted, and hear me out. First of all, we have Aliona Kostoronaia pretty solidly. I would bet that she's probably going to win this one. I mean, she burst onto the scene, won everything, has a lovely triple axel, and besides that, has some excellent skating skills, and her interpretation, performance of the music, and just her quality all around is fantastic. Alexandra Trusova shocked the world with all of her amazing quads and has been continuing to push the technical limits as a newcomer, which is fantastic. And Young Yu was such a dark horse this season, really combining both of those strengths. We've seen her practicing quad loop, but more importantly, her triple axel propelled her to a Grand Prix victory, which is amazing and was completely unexpected. A total dark horse for the season, but she burst onto the scene in such a way that she is making waves in the figure skating world, which I think definitely warrants her a spot. Unfortunately, I think that when compared with Aliona, who won everything, and Sasha, who has these amazing quads, sometimes Anna can be overshadowed, even though she's almost a combination of the two. But because she wasn't winning everything, which basically earns her a spot on this list, and while she does have quads, she's not pushing the envelope as much as Sasha, which is insane to say because I'm pretty sure she attempted 3 quads in her free skate, and she do flip and 2 lutzes, which is bananas to say that, oh, she might not be as deserving of the spot because she wasn't doing 5 quads like Sasha. Crazy to think that we're there now in figure skating, but such is life. So anyways, I think that these 3 spots are warranted. Also, I don't think it would look the best for the ISU Skating Awards to have, like I said, 3 skaters all from the same country and also from the same coaching team, and I like how they diversified it with Young Yu, who I think definitely earned her spot here. So those are the best newcomers. Next up, Best Choreographer. I believe this is probably the most unproblematic category. We have Shae-Lynn, Bourne, Marie-France, and then Nichol. All of them fantastic choreographers, each in their own right. Shae-Lynn has been doing amazing things to really push the sport with fun choreography, and Nichol, of course, is a classic, Marie-France as well. So I think that really all of these, there's not really going to be much drama with this category. It is quite wholesome, and I think that anyone who wins it would absolutely deserve the win, but they all certainly deserve any kind of recognition that they get because they're all fantastic. Next up, Best Coach. This one is a little more problematic. We have Raphael, Arutyunyan, Brian Orser, and Eteri Tutberidze. So this is a little bit of a sticky situation, especially concerning Raphael and Eteri. We've heard some things coming out of both coaching teams that really have not been the most positive. Concerning Raphael, with the Unsu Lim situation last year, there were lots of allegations coming out about the skaters and that coaching team just not being the most positive. And of course, as I'm sure you're very familiar, Eteri Tutberidze's methods have been criticized pretty much endlessly by the skating fandom for really ruining children's bodies and abuse and eating disorder situations. So just all kinds of really awful, awful things that have been alleged from Eteri Tutberidze, and also some pretty awful things from Raphael Arutyunyan's camp as well. In comparison to the two of them, Brian Orser is relatively unproblematic, especially when it comes to skating techniques. A lot of skating fans really value TCC and their approach to coaching as something that's more wholesome and sustainable. So what I've seen online is that a lot of people are really vying for Brian Orser to win this Best Coach award because they think that he deserves it for his more wholesome approach to skating, as well as the impact that he has had with as the subtitle says, professional efficient work with outstanding results with one or several single skaters, pairs, ice dance, etc. Brian Orser certainly has done that, coaching Yuzuru Hanyu, coaching Javier Fernandez, Yuna Kim, and now Evgenia, Junwon Cha, etc., etc. His repertoire is just outstanding and has done very well for himself. As for Raphael Arutyunyan, his biggest draw currently right now is Nathan Chen, and Eteri Tutberidze, of course, is absolutely dominating the ladies' field. However, if you look at it with a broader scheme of things, Brian Orser's camp and TCC have really coached to success many skaters in many different disciplines. That I believe that Brian Orser demonstrates more versatility in his coaching than Raphael or Eteri. However, with the way that politics are these days in figure skating, I can honestly see the award going to either Brian or Eteri. I would be surprised if it goes to Raphael. And the last category is the Lifetime Achievement Award, a figure skating legend having achieved the greatest success and popularity and is considered as a role model for the figure skating world. This is a very open category, honestly, and I saw some people saying online that they believe that it'll probably be Denis 10, and I think that there could be some credence to that, and that would be an excellent way to honor his legacy, especially as his skating competition is going to be coming out that I believe his mom is pushing for. So that's fantastic, and it would be an excellent way to honor his legacy. However, even if Denis is not ultimately selected for the Lifetime Achievement Award, I think that there are a host of skaters who would definitely be a great recipient for this award. In the screenshot that I'm looking at right now, they don't have listed any particular people that are slated for that. And as promised, let's talk a little bit about the drama with Alina Zagitova and eventually culminating in her unfollowing the ISU on her Instagram. It should probably be noted that we don't really know exactly how much control Alina has over her Instagram, and a lot of top skaters are managed by management companies who control their social media and that sort of thing. We saw recently a lot of Evgenia's personal posts on Instagram were purged from her Instagram account, so a lot of these things are being controlled more in a business manner and not so much a personal manner, so we don't know if it was actually Alina herself who unfollowed this person, but it could very well be, we just don't know. Anyways, with that aside, let's get into it. So when the ISU initially released the videos talking about the skating awards, some fans were upset, Alina's fans, especially the ones from Russia who are super fans, I would say. They were upset to see that Alina wasn't being honored in any of these categories. So Alina fans were disappointed by this, saying that they voted for Alina and they believed that Alina should have made the shortlist in some of these categories, and she unfortunately was not. So Alina fans threw a big fit, and then evidently the news got all the way up to Alina herself, and she actually unfollowed the ISU on Instagram, which is a bold move, and we have to respect her courage in that regard. So that's what the whole conundrum was over Alina and the ISU Skating Awards, and we'll see. Maybe they'll honor her with a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I feel like they'll definitely opt for someone older in the sport. So if you saw any Russian fans that were super, super upset, or any Alina stans who were making a fit about the ISU Skating Awards, now you know. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and breaking down the skating awards a bit. Who do you think is going to win in every category? I'm most intrigued to say, who do you guys think will win most valuable skater, and who do you think will win best coach and why? I'd imagine that these two are probably going to be the most contentious, so I'm very intrigued to see. Also, were there any skaters, costumes, newcomers, choreographers, or coaches who you believe should have made the shortlist? Is there anything that the ISU majorly missed and it would not be a first for them? So if you have any recommendations, any skaters that we should really admire their costumes or their entertaining programs, or someone who's really contributed to the sport that just didn't make it on the list for some reason, please let me know in the comments below, and I'd be glad to respond to some of those and see what you guys think about the ISU Skating Awards. Will you actually be watching these awards live? I honestly don't think I will, but if someone's doing a sarcastic live stream of it, I may very well watch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.